Welcome to Beyond the Press Release, a production of Gore column in which we take the time, speak with small cap executives after we put out big news. And with us today, because the news is big, it's 4 million tons big, is Terry Lynch, he's CEO of Power Nickel, trades in Canada under the stock symbol PNPN. And for our friends in the US, on the QB under CMETF. Power Nickel is aiming to become Canada's next low carbon, high grade nickel mine. And more than just lip service, they're doing that because they've acquired 80% of the Nisk project from Critical Elements Lithium. A great company, trades on the TSX venture as well. They're focused on lithium and their advanced exploration stage Rose Lithium-Tantalum project. And that's the benefit that Power Nickel's got. Why nickel? We all kind of know the story, but some of you are going to be new. Nickel plays a crucial role in lithium-ion battery chemistries used to power electric vehicles. Currently, 39% of lithium-ion batteries contain nickel. That's going up to 58% by 2025. And does anybody doubt the demand that's going to come for nickel, because electric vehicles are unstoppable? The Nisk property is a large land position with numerous, this is the great part, numerous historical high-grade nickel intercepts and a historical 43101 that just got an upgrade, and it's in a jurisdiction with a number of mining projects and improving infrastructure. Today's news, Power Nickel releases initial NI 4301 compliant mineral resource estimate on Nisk, and I'm going to kind of give the punchline right now. Total of indicated inferred I'm going to round up 4 million tons at 1.2% nickel equivalent. Terry, welcome back, my friend.
Great to be here, George. So it's a big day for us. You know, this is sort of our coming out party. I mean, we're super nano cap right now, and this sort of puts us on the map. And if you look at us versus any junior nickel miner in the world today, we are by far the best bargain, like not even close.
So that kind of takes away my thunder there, because my question was going to be for the layman, because not all of us are geologists and understand how to put these numbers in context. How excited should your shareholders be by this 43101 update?
You know, I think they should be super excited. You know, I mean, obviously, you know, you've got the pall of a sort of a depressing market, and people are sort of saying, well, you know, if it's such great news, why did the stock go down? Well, we can give you some reasons behind that. But the reality is, now that this report is out and you can compare apples and apples against other, projects with 43101s in the sector, you know, you look at things, you know, and compare apples and apples. It's like, what am I getting paid per pound of nickel EQ in the ground? So we're getting paid about 6 cents.
And what's the price of nickel per pound, by the way?
Yeah, over 10 bucks.
10 bucks.
Yeah. So on
right now.
You know, Talon Metals, who would be what we'd like to be when we grow up, they're getting paid almost $1, so 15 times more. Most of the other juniors are getting paid 3 to 5 times more. And I would argue that we're every bit as good, or probably better, in my view, better than any of those guys. So it's like, that's a no-brainer. I mean, this thing is a screaming buy right now. I mean, obviously you got to have an appetite for junior mining and have the risk in your portfolio, etc. But if you have an appetite and you want to make, like I say to people, don't come in here and thinking you're going to make 10 or 20%. Why? Come in here and think you're going to make 10, 20 times, because that's what the reality is going to be on this thing, I believe, based upon what we're seeing right now.
And by the way, it's not as if you're trading at a discount to pound, not stock price, but for per pound in the ground, because there's anything wrong with Nisk, right? It's not as if there's something, oh, by the way, we didn't tell you, but it's located in Venezuela, and as a result, we're not going to be able to get to it.
Exactly. When you look at like the normal risk in a mining project, the community risk, well, your community is going to have some issue with you. Well, the Cree is very supportive to mining. They're already supporting 3 existing mines in the community, so you know they're certainly going to be proactive in supporting this. Political risk, we're in Quebec in Canada. I mean, not only is it politically safe, but they've also provided the best financing incentives in the world. So for every dollar we raise through the Quebec financing programs, we can get really $1.75, right, and soon maybe up to $2. That's fantastic. You know, and then it's like, okay, what about infrastructure risk? Well, in this case, I don't know of another mining project like it. I mean, you can literally drive on the highway to it. It's across the road from a major Hydro-Quebec substation, get all the power. This will be the greenest nickel mine in history. So it's like, and
I could drive up there and heckle you when you're drilling in August, September.
Yeah, exactly.
From the road. That's tongue in cheek, yes, but that gives perspective as to again, it's not at the top of some
No.
mountain
No,
over a
no,
ridge
it's
that you
very,
can't get to
very
without 10
doable. And
helicopters.
it's a shallow deposit. It starts at 80 meters down to 250. So it's like going to be minimal footprint, for, from an ecological standpoint and from a cost perspective. So it ticks all the boxes. And this was the last box to tick to get this from a historical resource where people are concerned with, oh, yeah, what does that mean exactly? Is it there? No, now it's there. And not only is it there, George, but we use very conservative numbers. Our numbers were basically the same numbers that Talum Metals used for its 2021 PEA. The numbers being used, there was a nickel mine came out with a PEA last week using numbers 25% more than us. So in other words, instead of $8 nickel, they're using $9.60. So it's like, if we did that, we'd increase our resource immediately by 25%.
Yeah, you could have easily probably had this over 5 million, but you're very conservative on price and cutoff grades. Why was that, Terry? Why did you guys go so conservative on those numbers?
I mean, I think we did it for, we want to always sort of compare ourselves against Talum Metals, because Talum Metals is the only junior mine in nickel, in my view, that the market says it's commercial and we're going to pay for it. Okay, so they're getting paid, close to $1 a pound in the ground. Their deposit's worth right now about 540 million or so. It had got as high as $1 billion, shrunk back, but that's where you want to be, and that's where we should be, and that sort of, we should be getting a pound of nickel in the ground. That's where we should be, and so that's, by comparing ourselves with them, we're allowing people to start to say, wow, they sort of look like they're at 4, could have easily been 5. If you look at the infill opportunities that no brainer to look at on the screen, they can see, hey, they can get to 7, 8 to 10 on this one pod is almost for sure. So all of a sudden it's like, hey, these guys are going to get commercial. So
and talk about what you mean there about a pod, because the press release mentions that these kind of deposits are like almost like a string of pearls. So is this one pearl, one pod, with potentially many more pearls?
Yeah, one pearl, and historically, there's no nickel sulfide mines that are producing in the world that are made from a single pod. They're always multiple pods or multiple pearls, a string of pearls formation. So it's highly likely that we're going to have multiple zones here, multiple little pits or declines that would work from. And our geologists feel that we're probably looking at either a Lynn Lake model or like a Voisey's Bay, somewhere in between the two. Lynn Lake is 22
Voisey's Bay, you're talking something, one of the biggest of all time.
Yeah. I mean, here's what's interesting. Typically, these things have like 3 or 4 pods. So my geologist says, so what are the odds that you got the best pod first? Well, the pure math of it is 3 or 4 to 1. So the best pod may still be adjacent to us, But
even if this was where it's at, I want to look at your quote. We feel we've shown Nisk has significant commercial potential. You got a fully funded upcoming drill program where you say we've already permitted several drill targets in the flanks of the current deposit, designed to extend the deposit and test new potential pods for additional resources. We expect to drill commence in August and be completed in September. So we're going to find out pretty quickly what else you've got in your neighborhood, right?
We are indeed. Yeah. We expect to, I was just chatting with the contractor. So expect we'll probably get rolling mid-August, and probably it actually will roll through mid-October, probably about 2 months to fill the whole thing. But we'll be shipping the results in, and we'll start to get those back probably end of September and then through October. So you couldn't really pick a better time to be getting into this, I think.
How many holes, Terry, are you drilling?
So we'll probably drill somewhere between 15 and 20 holes. Yeah. So going a little deeper, there'll be some shallow stuff at the surface, but I would say on average, it probably would be averaging around 300 meters or so. There'll be some shallower stuff and be some deeper stuff. Our best, like if you look at the isometric view on the press release, it shows you the sort of the heat map of nickel intensity, and sort of our at around 220, 230. We were hitting some really great grades between 2 and 3% nickel EQ. Well, your tonnage adds up real quick when it's that dense, and
that's as you're going deeper.
These are 10, 12, right? 15 meter sections. So that those are really great for tacking on tons. So we're gonna definitely test that, and it's open on depth and open along strikes. So Yeah, I mean, if you're you know, a geologist, if you're a mining guy, you look at this layout and the current disclosure and the information, it's going to make you think there's a lot of tons to be had here, you know, and knowing historically how these deposits are in the world, it would make you optimistic that we've explored less than 1% of our ground. We identified 4 other geophysical signatures that are, you know, provide the same type of heat, everything that we want to look for in this type of deposit that are in that area. And you know, any one of these could have multiple pots, you know, so this could be a whole new, you know, nickel, you know, sort of valley.
But it sounds like you're pretty confident that, and by the way, whatever results come back, are you going to upgrade the 43101, the resource estimate again?
Yeah,
right
yeah,
away?
we would plan to do that at the same time. Yeah.
And that's great because sometimes companies say, okay, we're not going to upgrade the 431 for another year. But I love the fact that you're iterating, using the software term. You guys
Yeah.
are iterating pretty fast, which tells me you've got a high degree of confidence. So if everything goes well, not perfect because no plan goes perfect,
Right.
but if everything goes well as expected for what you and your team believe you've got there at Nisk, what starts happening to the company in 2023? You know, so you're done drilling, you got the assays, they come back, you know, October-ish and all that. So you put a new resource to estimate. What does the company start to look like after that? Do you know, what's your plan?
Yeah, so basically the plan would be this. We would obviously get this next round in. At some point, we would need to do a third round, which would probably be the 15 to 20,000 meter round, really big round, to push it, you know, into the teens, you know, in terms of tonnages, our expectation would be. And because our mission in life really is to find as much resource as possible, and then to de-risk it as much as possible, and also do the metallurgy, so that we basically show just how big this thing can be, how economic it can be. And then we'll end up selling it, because we'll end up doing a PEA and probably, you know, possibly a PFS, just to, because that's where companies like us sell projects. And you can be sure there's a lot of people watching. I mean, we were getting calls, and even before, based on our drill results in March, from, you know, big industry giants that I won't mention, but were, you know, as big as it gets in this sector. And we've met them 3 times. We know they're modeling the deposit, you know, because, hey, listen, there's not a lot of great class 1 nickel in the world, and this thing's got legs, you know, so there'll be a big demand for it. Now, you never know that by looking at our stock. You know, it's so ridiculous. I just smacked
Well,
myself
hey,
in the head.
Warren Buffett, let's remember one thing. And by the way, we're not giving any investment advice, just having a conversation with Terry here.
Yeah.
But Warren Buffett built the greatest portfolio in history by buying undervalued assets, right? The fact of
That's
the
what you
matter
got
is
to
the
do.
market does underprice assets.
Yep.
So that's not a terrible thing for the potential future Warren
No,
Buffetts who are watching this right now.
for sure, for sure, for sure.
Last question. If all that goes according to plan, what you were just talking about there, 12 months, 18 months, 24 months away from the fun, because the electric vehicle market is moving fast. You know,
Yeah, no,
it's the whole
yeah,
thing
so,
is heating up. So how far
yeah,
away
so
are you from the
yeah, so
ultimate
I think
decision?
our plan would be to drill it aggressively over this next 12 to 24 months, prove up as much tonnage as possible, de-risk it metallurgically, you know, get through the PEA stage, and then, you know, towards the PFS, and then we'd have an auction and sell it, you know, and we would expect a you know, this thing, in my view, will go in the hundreds of millions to a couple of $1 billion, somewhere in there, which sounds like crazy. I'm like, I'm on crack, but what the hell? I'm long and therefore recommend.
No financial advice.
I'm putting my money in here.
I'm flashing across the street. No financial advice, but man, that sounds like, look,
Yeah.
and you're the CEO, and it's great. You've got to have that confidence.
Yeah.
And you know, for those of you who don't know Terry, because maybe you're seeing the headline and you're discovering power nickel for the first time, and hey, who's this Terry Lynch guy? Well, Terry has a long track record, history of success. He's also the tip of the spear with the advocacy group that's been lobbying provincial governments, federal governments, stock regulators on putting an end to short selling. And behind Terry are some of the biggest names in mining in Canada. So when Terry speaks, he's not some promoter. He's got a pretty good idea of what he's talking about. And I want to make sure everybody who didn't know Terry knows that. Terry, congratulations. I mean, look, there's more to come. I can't wait to have you back on in September-ish, somewhere in there. But in the meantime, let's celebrate this milestone. It's a big one. You know, 3.99. That's funny. I'm going to say 4 million tons of nickel, and it sounds like a lot more to come, my friend.
Good stuff, George. Thanks for having us on. Have a great day. Cheers.
For everybody at home, you've been watching or you've been listening by podcast on Spotify, Google, Apple, your favorite podcast platform. To Terry Lynch, he's CEO at Power Nickel, trades in Canada under PNPN, for friends in the US under CMETF. To start your due diligence, 2 simple steps. 1, get to the company's profile page on Agoracom. We got all this neatly laid out for you, especially for you non-geologist types. That's what we really got it there for, so you can understand in layman's terms exactly what Nisk has got, its history, where it's going. And then once you've done that due diligence, then head over to the company's website, do your deep dive due diligence. If you believe in the future of electric vehicles, if you believe in lithium-ion batteries and the role nickel is going to play, then it behooves you to go do your due diligence of Power Nickel. And hopefully today you discovered your next amazing small cap company. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day. See you next time. Hey guys, this video is over, but don't forget to help your company by liking it and even leaving a comment below. And then don't forget to help yourself by subscribing to our channel and never missing another great Agoracom small cap video.